What's up, everybody? Welcome to another VPN chat. Now, this is going to be great. Going to be a whole bunch of laughing, talking, kikiing, all that good stuff. I'm here with my good friend and actress. You see her in a lot of the movies and the shows. Give it up for Miss Kiara C. Bennett. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Watching.
How's everything going with you?
Everything's going great. Life is amazing. Can't complain.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, first of all, so I want to go ahead and give a disclaimer. When y'all meet this woman, make sure you pronounce her name correctly. It is Kiara. And she's going to be sure to tell you that it's not Kiara, it's Kiara.
Please and thank you. I also told you, but I don't have to.
It'd be so funny because, like, even when I hear people say your name wrong, I'll correct them because I don't really want to hear her have to correct y'all. So it's Kiara.
All of my friends are like that. Like, I guess after it's just like, no, that's not how you say her name. And they will, I won't even have to do it. They will do it. And then sometimes, if I'm like somewhere, like if someone calls me like, hey, man, it's Kiara Bennett, I'm like, yes, how can I help you? What is it?
Not with the attitude.
Not really, but I'm just like, I always like kind of cringe. Not that there's anything wrong with the name Kiara.
No, but that's not your name. That's not your name. So yeah, no, I get it because it's like, it's not necessarily the same thing, but when people shorten my name, like I don't know if people call me Carl. I can't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes my flesh crawl. I don't know why it does, but it just does. But I don't necessarily be like, don't call me that. But I just don't. I'd be like, I prefer you don't say Carl because if you want to shorten my name, like I prefer K.
Gotcha. Yeah. I went through like a phase where like some of my friends will end up wanting to call me Kiki. And I'm like, no, thank you. That's not. Mm-mm. And then it's like, if you're really trying to shorten my name, Kiki is like 4 letters. Kiara is 5. So you're not really doing much anyway.
Right, exactly.
I prefer Kiki over Kiki, but
you prefer what?
I'm just like, what, Key? If you just say Key, I'm cool with that. But
got you.
Like, it's not very often, and I only have like really like one friend that kind of does it. She doesn't really do it that much anymore anyway. So I'm just like, cool. I don't know. I just never really liked Key. I guess because I knew someone named Kiki and I wasn't really a fan, and so it's like, don't call me her name, but it's not her name. But
yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So let's get started with you getting into acting and everything. What made you fall in love with acting? What made you want to become an actress?
Okay, so to say that, I have to say something before that.
Okay.
And we might have talked about this before. I'm not sure. But when I was young, like from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to entertain. That was always something that I really loved, and I loved to perform and all that. But I wanted to be a singer. Like I grew up not so much grew up, but like from a young age up until about maybe 16 or so, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to go on tour. I knew that I was gonna have my first record deal by 13. I said I was gonna have my first record deal by the age of 13. But back to what we were saying. Oh, actually, I think that was before you started recording, but about me being nervous and things like that.
Yeah.
Too shy to sing in front of people. Way too shy. And then so it's like I always did like choir. I was always in chorus I lived in Hawaii. And at the time when I was in Hawaii, you couldn't be in chorus until you were in 5th grade. I believe it was 5th grade. And so as soon as I could be in it, I auditioned, got in it, and I was in chorus every year since then, all the way into college. And I'm cool with that, but like singing solos and like all eyes on me, like I just get so nervous. And so like I didn't really put in the like do any real training, like outside of like stuff on my own. Like I didn't do like vocal lessons or anything like that. I was
Mm.
always too shy. Like I wanted to take lessons because I wanted to know like, I mean, I got the background from choir, you know what I mean? So I got like, I learned how to read music and I learned how like the notes and everything like that. But I didn't take any one-on-one training because I was just too shy to sing in front of people. So like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And so then I believe it was no, couldn't have been sixth grade. No, yeah, it was. It was sixth grade. I mean, you know, of course, in school you always do plays and things like that.
Right, right.
But in sixth grade, I was still in Hawaii, and so this was middle school, and we had an audition for like the school play. It was a musical, and so I did go out for that, and I did get a role in that, and I fell in love with acting. And I'm like, okay, this is something I can still do and perform, but even though I get nervous in the beginning, like I said, once I start talking, I'm good. So it's like, this is something that I can do. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. And I don't let my nerves get the best of me. So I did plays. I was in plays from sixth grade all the way up. I did it all through school. I was in drama all through school, and I did plays in college. And then I think I did my first professional play in college
Mm-hmm.
at Fort Valley State University. And after that, and we did for Colored Girls, and we got hired to do that outside of the school, like in the city.
Uh-huh.
And so that was like my first paid professional gig, except we didn't get paid, you know, as the actors and actresses, but well, actually actresses, because it was only women. But we still got the school got paid, you know, to have us
Right,
there. So that
right.
was technically my first paid professional gig as an actress. And then in Augusta, Miss Monique, you know, from the I think she was on Power. Ooh, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think it was Power 107.
Power 107, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I auditioned for one of her plays, which was Stolen Lives. And so I did that. And then I did her next play, which was, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. It's literally unavailable. Well, actually, what happened was, so I was in Stolen Lives. I had a lead role in that. I auditioned for it, got cast, right? And then she was doing Unavailable. I didn't audition for that one. Um, I think I didn't know when the auditions came up or whatever, so that's why I didn't audition for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got a call from my girl Lexi, and she was like, "Hey, no. Monique called me, but I think Lexi called me another time after that. But anyway, Monique called me, and she was with Tyrese because he was in the play as well, I believe."
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I might be mixing up the names. I know Tyrese was involved some kind of way, but I really don't remember him being. Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure. This was some years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. But so they called me and they were like, "Yeah, like what you got going on right now?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. What's up?" She's like, "Listen, I'm putting on another play. The actress in this particular role is not working out, and I kind of want you to kind of come in. I may need to, you know, remove her from the role, and you may need to take over." I'm
Right.
like, "Okay, cool, fine, sure. It is what it is, you know?" So I went in, and I didn't go to all the rehearsals. I went in like kind of every once in a while. And then like the week of the play, it was 2 nights before the play. She had us both perform the first act. The original actress performed the first act, and then I performed the first act. And they had a vote right there in front of everybody. Like, what do you think?
No,
Yes.
no.
I was like, wow. Literally in front of the whole cast, in front of us and everything. And I got the role. And well, everybody voted for me. So the girl got fired like right there on the spot. Should I even be saying that? Is that
I
bad
mean,
to say?
it's not because it happened. I'm just kind of like,
Yeah,
yikes.
yeah, she didn't
Uh,
know. So so yeah, I got the role literally 2 nights before the play.
yeah.
But show night came, killed it. It was a great performance for everybody. It was a really good show.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so I did that, and then I moved to Atlanta or the Atlanta area, and then I was in actually my aunt. Somebody approached my aunt in the store. He's a director, a writer,
Mhm.
and was putting on a play. And he was like, "Hey, you I like your look. I have a play." Da 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 da. And she was like, "Oh well, I don't act, but sure, but my niece does." So she called me and let me know about the auditions. I went in, did my thing, got two roles in the play. And because he needed someone to play um his mom. So I actually had to play like older. And so I
Uh-huh.
was in the first part of the play, and then he ended up firing an actress, and I ended up taking over her role in the second part of the play as another character.
Uh-huh.
And then so well, I'm giving you like my theater background. And
No,
then
you good. You good. You good.
I did another play a couple years ago, which actually she's wanting to put it on again. She actually we did three performances. We did two in Atlanta and one in Macon, and now she's wanting to put it on again. Um, Around Mother's Day was the last we talked about it, and so I went in, got a lead role for that, and that one's a really good one too. I really enjoyed that one.
Mhm.
So that's my theater. But then with you, I believe, yeah, you were the first person that I worked with on film. And I realized that I said the wrong, actually, I realized it back when I said it, but I'm like, oh, I can't correct myself.
Yes, you
Well, now
can. Yes, you can.
I'm gonna correct myself now. When
Yes.
we went to when you had your 20th anniversary party, and you had Maine doing the interviews,
Uh-huh.
and he asked me how I got started with you, and I said the first thing I did with you was Lover's Lane. It wasn't Lover's Lane. It was
It
the
was
Lions. Den.
it was like right.
Yeah,
When I watched it, I was like, she said the wrong show,
I
but
did. I
it's all
did.
good.
I said Lover's Lane, and I said then I worked with him again on BrothAhood. No, I did, but before that was Karma. I'm like, oh, girl, what was you? I think I was so
I think you blocked karma from your memory. I
maybe.
think that's what it is.
I was like, what did I say, brother? Why did I say Lover's Lane? And then why did I say Brotherhood was next? It came later, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
next.
Maybe no. What I'm trying to think. When did we have the hangout? Did we have the hangout before the 20th or after the 20th? My sister's hangout.
It was after.
Okay, well, never mind. I was trying to give you an excuse.
Oh, oh.
I was trying to give you because
No, because I was
I
at
know
Chris.
we talked about Lovers Lane, and I was like, okay, well maybe that's why she said it, but nah, that ain't it. Never mind.
I had Lover's Lane on the brain, I guess.
I mean, listen, it was definitely a thing. It was
Yeah.
definitely a thing. So, but yeah, I remember first hearing about you because I was supposed to be doing a project, and somebody that we both know suggested you for the project. And I think this is right before you moved to Atlanta. Um,
Okay.
and I think you were supposed to be a part of it, but then you ended up moving, and then the project ended up morphing into the Lyons Den. And so then I think you hit me. I don't know how we got. I think you hit me saying, "Hey, I'm back in town" or something. I don't know. I just know that you was like, "Hey, I'm back in Augusta, or I'm back in the area. Do you have anything going on?" And I said, "Yeah, I got this one part on the Lions Den. You're playing like a girlfriend. It's one scene. If you want to do it, cool." And then yeah, you came in and you did it. I think you asked me, he was like, "So is this it? Or am I coming back? Or what's going on?" And I was like, I was like, no. I said, it's not really enough. It's just no, she really only serves that one purpose, just to come in and try to and complain about that her boyfriend's not spending time with her, and then that's it. Cause and for those people who are listening or watching, I'm talking about the Lions Den, specifically season 6, and Kiara plays Ron's character's girlfriend at the time. This is
Right.
before it's revealed that Ron's character is a male prostitute for gay men. And
Mhm.
also, Jared is also dealing with his sexuality as well. So, he's with the girl, of course, to kind of just
For appearances.
for appearances to please his parents. Because
Mhm.
his parents are always on him about getting married. And he's just like, I ain't trying to do all that. So
Yeah.
you said that this is your first time working with the production, your first time actually working with film or taped or whatever.
Actually, that's wrong. I'm just
Oh,
all
you
over the
messing
place.
messing everything up. I'll try to make another historic moment, and there you are. I was just playing. I was just like, go ahead.
I'm just kidding. It was the first time.
No. We tell the truth here.
No, you right. So actually the first time really was but it was a small role. Not that it's not to to
Diminishing thing, right? Yeah.
um but so I think that's why, because it wasn't like I wasn't a lead or anything. I kind of came in and it didn't I think it was just that one episode, if I'm not mistaken. So it didn't go anywhere from my character, at least. And then I think it was just one season, like they never came back for another season.
Hmm.
But actually the first time I worked with Shay, and that was on a show called Roommates. And so I
Oh,
did,
yeah.
yeah, I was one of their sorority sisters. So that was actually my first time having like a speaking role on camera.
Got you.
So
Got
I
you.
worked actually, you know what? I Roommates might have been after Lyons then, so you might have still been the first person I worked with. I can't, because I know they were both very like a long time ago.
Yeah. I think roommates may have been first.
Okay. Okay.
I think roommates may have been first, but they're still
Okay.
family, so it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But I do think roommates was before the Lions Den, because I know the Lions Den ended after season 5 the first time, and then I think Shay and Jasmine went on to do their show, and
Mhm.
then we brought the Lions Den back after that. I think so.
Okay.
I think that's the timeline, if I'm not mistaken. If we wrong, let us know. We'll
Well, see, if I was on season 6, then I would have filmed Roommates first.
right.
You're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So season
That's
6. So yeah, okay, I see what you're
yeah.
saying.
I'll say yeah.
Mhm.
You would film roommates first, and then you'd have did the Lions Den. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Definitely. So, but okay, so let's talk about like comparing before we get into the other VPN shows, comparing stage to film or tape or video,
Mhm.
whatever. Which one do you like the best? And like what I guess what attracts you to each genre? I know a lot of actors say, well, I like stage versus film, but what I do like about film is this or whatever. So like which one do you like the best, and like what attracts you to each field?
Okay, so as far as what I like the best, I'm not really sure I can say one
Okay.
over the other, because they
Okay.
are like, of course, it's still acting, but they both give you something special. For me, I love what draws me to theater is I love the live aspect of it, and it's just like, yeah, you can read the script and you can know your lines, but whatever happens today at the show, you just gotta roll with it. So it's not necessarily improv unless you're actually doing improv, but it kind of keeps you on your toes, because if someone messes up or if you mess up, you have to still be able to recover. Versus like in film, cut, we're gonna shoot that again. You know what I mean? So I like that theater is just, you just gotta go with it and go there, and you feed off of the audience too. You know what I mean? Now, no matter what the audience is doing, you still have to perform, but it does make it amps it up to another level when the audience is like really into it and they're laughing at the jokes, or they're like, if you have a scene with your partner and y'all are arguing or whatever, and the girls are like, and then the guys, you know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
fun because feed off of the audience's energy. Whereas with film, I still love film because it's like, it's still acting and it's fun, and it's like, it teaches you, I think you have to be more disciplined. Like theater, you have discipline because you have to come to rehearsals and you have that repetition. But with film, it's still a little bit of kind of improv still, because someone can still mess up. And if it's not a horrible mess up and the storyline is still being told, you can still roll with it and you can add in your little ad libs here and say little things differently there. So I don't know. I feel like with film, another thing that I like about it is the fact that you can potentially reach more people, because with a play, the audience that's there is the audience that's going to see it, unless it's being recorded and distributed later.
Mhm.
With film, you can share it, you can put it on different platforms, and people can watch it over and over again. Whereas, like I said, with the play, it's like that one night or that one show or however many shows you have, but after that, it's done. And that's one thing I don't like about film. I'm sorry, about theater. When it's over, it's like bittersweet. It's like, okay, who now I got some time on my hands, but then it's also like, but what am I gonna do with it? Like I miss going to rehearsal. I miss my castmates. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And film is pretty much the same thing. It's like even though you don't have to go in for rehearsals, so to speak, depending on the project that you're doing, once you film it, it's over. So it's like never gonna see y'all again. But I mean, they're one and the same, but they also have their differences that make them equally special for
Mhm.
me personally.
Gotcha. Understood. Definitely understood. I understand that for sure. So yeah, let's get into our projects. Like I said, you did the Lions then, and then we go into Karma. Now, Karma, when you came in, definitely went through a whole overhaul.
Yeah,
Um, and
revamping.
we revamped the show because our lead she had other projects, other things that she wanted to work on, and so I wanted to keep the show going because
Mhm.
at the time Courtney, who was playing Brandon, he was still in it. So it's all right. How do we keep the show going and keep the name and all this
Mhm.
other stuff? So then decided to, instead of focusing on the character Karma, we focused on more the concept of what goes around comes around, all that good stuff.
Right.
With this, and it became more of an ensemble cast versus being led by the character Karma. So you came in,
Right.
you played Layla, um, and you were Brandon's new girlfriend, and you were just you was in love with him. But I don't think he wasn't in love with you. You were
Right.
just Layla. Layla was just a placeholder for Brandon, and then she went through some things in season 4 and 5 and everything. But let's
Mhm.
talk about your first initial coming in and playing this role. Like, what were your initial thoughts?
So my initial thought coming in was, well, first off, I was excited. I was ready to work again. I was ready to get back on camera, and I had had that prior experience with you briefly with the Lions Den, so I kind of knew what I was. Even though I kind of came in, did my scene, and left, I still kind of saw and got like a taste for what to expect for Karma. Not saying like the show, but just like working with you.
Right, right, right.
So I was nervous. Like I wanted to come in and leave a good lasting impression so that, if you had anything in the future, I would still be able to work with you again if you were willing to work with me. And that's kind of how I take all my roles. Like I don't ever want to come in and not be ready. You know what I'm saying? So I was very in that, and at that point I was very new to the filming aspect because like I said, I only did two small roles before that. So
Right.
I'm like, I need to know my lines, I need to this and that. I was like, I'm coming, I'm gonna be ready, and he's not gonna have to say nothing to me. Like as far as like my professionalism, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? And so that was my goal. And so I came in, and of course, I'm meeting, even though I had worked with you before, it's really still like that was like a bigger introduction. I had the prior experience, but this was my first time, like really like scene after scene. I'm not a lead character, but like a supporting. So I had more to film this time.
Right.
So I'm like still getting to know you, never met the other characters before. So I'm like, okay, what do I expect? I'm not really sure, but I'm going to treat this like I would any of my other roles. You know what I'm saying? So I came in and I was excited. I had a good time for the most part. Um, in the beginning,
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll probably get into that. But yeah, so I just was really excited. I was ready. I was eager. I was hungry for it. But at the same time, I was still new, like not new to acting, but new to film. So I still had a lot to learn
Mm.
and grow through, with that experience. And so Karma taught me a lot. Karma taught me a lot about me as an actress and what I want to do, what I'm willing to do, things like that. And of course, those things evolve over time as you grow and get older.
Yeah.
But it kind of showed me that I had more range because for the plays that I had been doing, they were not the same roles, but it was different. Like I never had to do like a love scene before and things like that. So it taught me like, okay, are you comfortable with this? You think you're comfortable, and then you get into it and it's like, okay, that's not too bad. But then you push the envelope every time, it seems like. So Karma was like a teaser to what was to come.
Well,
But
but to be honest with you, like even in reference to the love scenes or whatever, like that was still fairly new to me too. It was like, all right, we're gonna do a little bit, but not too
mhm,
much.
yeah,
Lover's Lane honestly was my real introduction into okay, we're
we
gonna
gonna
do
go.
we're gonna do some Showtime stuff. We're gonna do some HBO stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Karma was I was still a baby, still doing all that. I just remember when you came in like this, you definitely was professional. You definitely knew your lines. The one thing that sticks out to me, I don't know why this does. I just remember me and you going to Zaxby's.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know why that sticks out to me, but I just remember
We
me and you
did.
we were really wanting some Zaxby's that day.
We did. I do remember that also. I guess it was like, I don't think, I can't remember if we were done filming or if we were on a break for filming because it
Yeah.
was just of us. Like
Right. Yeah.
we didn't go. I think it was, I don't know if Imani was there at the time, but I
I don't
know
think
Court.
so. I don't think. I know. I think it was at the time me, you, and Courtney was just filming, and yeah, Courtney didn't go with us. It was just me and you. So we
Mm,
just went. I just know we was really hungry, and we went.
yes.
And we went. I think we finished early. I think we like we had a break,
Mm,
and we finished the first half early. So it was all right. We're gonna go get some food.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. If I
I remember we sat in, we ate it there. I do remember that.
yeah, yep.
I talked a little bit, and at that time, like I still didn't know you very well. You didn't know me very well, so I was like, we were having conversation, but I'm like, I was just so nervous. Like I didn't want to. I didn't know if I could get comfortable at that point. Like it wasn't that you didn't make me feel comfortable. It's just like I don't know if some people you work with and it's just like a professional relationship. It's like
Yep.
you come in your job and that's it. But what
Yeah.
I've learned with you and what I appreciate about our relationship is that we actually are friends. And so it's like in the beginning I wasn't sure if what type of director you were. Like I saw how you interact with everybody else, but you didn't know me. So I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna be myself,
Yeah.
and
I
where it goes.
yeah. I think honestly, I think that's my problem. I
Mm,
think I get too attached to
mm,
people, and I get too people. Manus told me this. My sisters told me this. I just have such a heart for people, and like I said, when I bring people in, it's like okay, it's like I'm bringing people into a family, and I want us to
mm.
be a family, but
Yeah,
everybody's not meant to be a part of your family, and
right,
sometimes you have to have. Sometimes some people are just meant to have that. It's just supposed to be professional in that sense. I think like that is one of the things that I actually deal with as far as wanting to be so friends with everybody versus all right, no, we just need to have that. We just need to have that work relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's like when your regular job, like you go to work, like you got you sometimes you just meant to be coworkers and that's it.
right. But
So
Carlton, like that's a phenomenal trait to have. Like for you to want that, you know what I mean? Versus like, oh, I don't want to know these people. I just want to get the job done and go home. And there may be days where you do feel like that. Like, okay, even though you love everybody, like, okay, you know what? Today it's just not that day.
mm,
But the fact that you are welcoming and open for that, that's not a problem on your end. That's a problem on the other people's end that can't come in and they're not meant to be. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it just doesn't work out and it may not actually be an issue. It's just it didn't work out that way.
yeah,
But I know it's hurtful when things, don't happen the way that you think they're going to happen, or when you do get attached to someone. But you're a great person, and if someone doesn't really mesh with you, 9 times out of 10, I think it's probably not going to be your problem. So that's just my little two
I'm about to
cents.
say, stop it before people think I paid you to say that. Nah.
No.
You know, people be in these streets, chat. People be in these
Yeah.
streets. um, we have to talk about season 4 and 5. We got to talk about that. But before we do that, I'm gonna ask you a personal question. Do you think Layla was annoying? Does Kiara think Layla was annoying?
I definitely think she had her moments.
Okay.
But I think, and I honestly do believe, I feel like she really just wanted to be loved. And then when it didn't work out the way that she had hoped, she kind of just took a turn. Things went, she just was acting out. But I
Mhm.
think that it stemmed from just being hurt.
Yeah, I guess
So,
that question stems from, I guess, more so season 3, because I know a lot of people was like late, like the scene, like when we first meet Layla, he's talking to Brandon's talking to Carmen, and Layla literally comes in and sits on his lap. And I know a
mm,
lot of, and I know my sister, but she was like, "Why did she do that? What was the point of doing that?" So I guess that's where that question stems from. Like, do you think Layla was like doing too much? Like, it's season 3 more so.
okay. So with that perspective, or bringing that context into it, um, yeah, I do think it was annoying, but I think for Layla, I feel still she wanted to be loved, and I feel like she knew the history, or she had an idea of what was going on, and she
Mhm.
wanted to her claim like, no, this is my man now. Like, I'm gonna let you can have your little conversation or whatever, but this is home, basically. So she could have gone about it in a different way, and I definitely would have handled it differently myself. But as the character, I feel like she was young, you know what I mean? She wasn't really thinking about what was going on. She was acting out in the moment. So, and
Mhm.
then kind of carried on from there. But yeah, she definitely was aggravating, but I think she was seeking his attention and she wasn't getting it. So she was like, okay, well, this is what I gotta do. You like this more, or like what is it? So I think she
Yeah.
was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't I know me personally, I wouldn't necessarily say she was annoying. I would definitely say she was very persistent.
Mm,
Very, very persistent as far as she knows what she wants and she has a standard.
hmm.
And I think that she was getting frustrated because I think she was compromising her standard.
That's a good point.
That's how I look at it. Watch it, like even
Mm,
watching it back now, I'm just like, yeah, I think, yeah. And then, like you said, like when you get hurt, because I mean, she finds out obviously that he's basically in love with Karma, in love with this woman that he has not been in a relationship with. They just were friends, but
hmm.
he was in love with this woman,
Yeah.
and then he's in a full blown relationship with Layla. I mean, they practically live together, and she gets this letter, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? And then of course she just acts out and all this other stuff. So which leads us to season 4 and 5. So we I've had conversations about this already. I've already said that I regret filming season 4 and 5 together. I regret it because and this is why, and honestly because I was told by
Hmm.
by an actor that he was moving.
I think I remember you saying that.
That's why we filmed it together. He was like, "Oh, I'm leaving," but
And you that.
it wasn't stated that I'm coming back. It was it
Like
was
it's
stated as if I was leaving. Like, I'm okay. This is it.
forever.
So I
You're
was
like, I
like,
gotta put it together so we can get it done, get it filmed, and get it out there.
yes, yes, and that's why. And then, honestly, we actually started shooting season 5 first, and then
Mhm.
4. So again, there's a lot of hairstyles going on. There's a lot of weight loss going on. it's a lot of things happening in season 4 and season 5, and it's so funny because I know Kiara a couple of scenes, her hair is like, in this curl pattern, and then
It was
and
a true
another scene is like straight in another scene. And I was like, I remember I was like, Kiara, just say you got caught in the rain or something.
in the rain. And it's just like, I to this day, I cannot live that down. Thank you. Thank you, Carlton. Thank you so much. But
I'm
now,
sorry. I'm sorry.
that has watched Karma and knows what we're talking about, has seen what we're talking about, blame him. This is the reason why.
Yeah, I
Or
will. I will take it. I'm gonna take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll
blame the
take.
actor moving, moving. But yeah, it was because of you. So
Yeah, I'll take it because again,
we didn't plan that. That
we
was
didn't
not in the
plan that
script.
at all. It was not in the script. We shot way out of order. It was it was it was I like to call it organized chaos. That's what I like to
Yeah.
call it. That's what it was. I mean, we got it done,
Mhm.
but it was just a
We did.
lot going on. I remember that one night we shot. I think we filmed all the way up to like 11. It was like the funeral scene. I think it was after Taisha's character had passed,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
and it was just so it was just so much going on. It was
It,
like
it was
it,
a whole lot.
it felt like filming was like eternal. It felt like
Yeah.
filming took forever.
Right. And then there was that scene where me and Courtney we had to film the scene where we were looking at each other in the church and we weren't even there together. Like,
Yes, yes,
but it was really good in the show. And you would
yes,
never know. But yeah, like we were not there at the same time, but you would not be able to tell because we were staring each other down. Okay.
yes.
The,
It's a lot. I think it's a lot of scenes in Karma where y'all weren't. It was some scenes where people weren't together,
mm-hmm.
and we had to splice those bad boys up.
Yeah.
But for me, and but what's still shocking to me, and again, not downing the show, not downing you all as performers, because you
Mhm.
all did the best you could with what you had. People really love that show, and it and
Yeah.
it and it really shocks me because I'm just like, I guess I'm looking at it from my point of view because I'm such a people have called me perfectionist. I guess I'll just
Yeah.
I'll own it. Looking at it, I'm just like, oh, we could have that needs to be fixed. This is all this stuff. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, But to this
That's
day,
normal.
people to this day say Karma is like one of their favorite shows.
Yeah, because I think taking all that away from it, it's the story, it's the storyline, and the energy that the actors put into it. And the viewers can see that and feel that. So it's like, yeah, we had a lot going on. It was a lot of, like you said, organized chaos, but we still got the job done and told the story that you wanted us to tell. You know what I mean? So we're always going to be our biggest critics of what we've got going on. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Mm.
always going to be, oh, I could have did this differently. I could have did this better. Oh man, 5 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, oh, I could have did this. If I knew this now, dang, if I would have known this technique or whatever back then, you know what I mean? But it also just speaks to the growth of you as a writer, a director, and your company, you know?
Yeah.
So Karma was a necessary thing, and it's still a great show, even if it's not your favorite. You know what I mean? Even if it gave you some gray hairs or whatever, you know what I mean? Because it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yes,
And that's all we're
but
gonna say.
you
It was a
pushed.
lot.
You pushed through. We all did.
We all I'm about to say we all pushed through. We all pushed through. One of my favorite scenes was when Brandon got caught when Donald's character found out that Brandon was sleeping with his wife, and you came in and you put your heel on Courtney's chest.
Oh, at the office.
That's one of my favorite scenes. I love that scene. I don't know why. I just think that's just one of my favorite scenes. And I just like I said, I love you and Courtney always y'all have great chemistry, whether y'all are characters that are together or y'all are adversaries. I think you guys work so well together. Same thing with you and Donald. I think you and Donald have great chemistry together as well. I just think that ensemble group, for the most part, was a great ensemble group. I think you guys definitely did I don't think you all did an amazing job helping with the transition of what the first 2 seasons were versus
Mhm.
how we ended up ending the show. So
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, that was a great time. Well, for the most part,
for
like
the
you
most
said, that
part, for
was
the most
a great time.
part,
There were some things that was going on behind the scenes that, well, even on the scene, like in the scene. I don't know. You probably don't want to get into that, but yeah. So it still was a time was still had as.
yeah. I mean, overall, I want to say thank you for just remaining professional. I think I think you were the one that had the most obstacles to endure during your time.
I appreciate that. No, but seriously, like I said in the beginning, my thing is to always come in, do my job. This is something that I truly love, and it's a true wholehearted passion of mine.
Mm.
And so sometimes you encounter people that don't feel the same. So you have to deal with that, and then their level of professionalism is just not where it needs to be.
Hmm.
But with me knowing that this is what I love to do and I loved working with you, I was not gonna jeopardize that. Now I can only take so much,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but you and everybody else, you know what I mean? I still had a great time and I did what I came to do. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
wasn't gonna let somebody
yeah.
mess up.
I can understand how that could be frustrating. Again, like you said, you something that you're so passionate about that you love, something that you are willing to put your time and your heart into, and with somebody else who doesn't take it as seriously or doesn't take it seriously at all, just coming in for whatever reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can get how frustrating that can be. Definitely.
Mhm.
Let's move on. Um,
Yeah.
let's
Because
let's
I'm over here thinking of stuff and I'm like, you know what? I wanted to ask something, but then it might give too much away as to what we're talking about specifically. So I'm like, no, let's.
I mean, listen, go ahead. Might as well. This is an open
Well, it's
forum.
really not a question for you. It was more like a thought that I wanted to say out loud. Like, I wonder, like, given my experience, and even though I know this person had a different experience because he's a male, I just want to know. I wonder how Donald dealt with that on scene because I don't think I didn't have many scenes where I had to film with
Donald.
the and
Oh,
Donald and everything.
got you, got
So
you, got you.
I wonder like how that was for him as an actor because we all know this was a certain other person's friend or whatever. So we're just coming into it like, okay. And so it's like I know what my experience was and how I felt
Mm,
having to do that. I wonder how Donald was because I know he's like I said, I know it's different because there's
yeah.
no animosity because of the woman thing, like, oh, this is another woman, da, 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 da.
Right,
So
right,
people
right.
have to deal with I had to deal with, but still like on the professional level, like, was that frustrating? Like, how did he get through that? Like
Yeah.
it's
I
like
like I
one
said,
person like
Donald,
you
I
had
mean Donald is like you. I think not I think I know Donald. Donald is the most utmost professional. So it's like he's gonna come in no matter what obstacles thrown his way, he's gonna come in and do his
yeah,
job and do what he needs to do. So I think he handled it the best way that he could. Um,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons, and we'll get into that, why one of those scenes that was in Karma got reshot and
right.
was added to another project.
Right.
We talked about that on Donald's chat, but we'll talk about it on this chat as
Mhm.
well. But we're gonna move
So
on to the next project that you were a part of. Was not Lover's Lane. It was
not at
not
all.
Lover's Lane. It was Brotherhood. You were
Yeah.
on Brotherhood, yes. Award-winning series Brotherhood. You
Mhm.
came in on season 2, playing the professor. When I tell you, and no disrespect to
Mhm.
your man, no disrespect at all. But when I tell you the men loved you,
Oh,
I'm talking
really?
about
I didn't even know this.
listen, when you came on the scene, listen, I that's all as a director, right?
Mhm.
I'm always hearing whether it's men talking about the ladies, the actresses, or the women talking about the men. I get it all. I get everything.
Got yeah,
So
yeah.
so but no, they loved the professor. I think what it was, they loved how Neil's character pretty much, I guess, bagged the professor. Or I think, well, no, honestly, if you watch the whole thing, the professor actually bagged him because yeah.
Because he was like a little scared, and I kind of like, no, this is what we doing.
Um,
So yeah.
so you came actually again, you came in on season two. Talk about you getting the scripts for the professor and your thoughts on just the story of Brother. I know Brotherhood is one of your favorite shows that you like. So
Absolutely, hands down, my favorite VPN show of all time. Okay, and it's not because I'm in it. It's just an amazing show, an amazing story, and to see the growth throughout that, like with the not just the characters, but the actual actors, like to see the acting grow and develop and get stronger. I've told you this before. I don't know if you remember, but if you were to ever bring a show back, that is the one to. Well, I know you can't. Everybody can't come back, but I was still like that show. Like I did not want it to end. I did not want it to end, but for me, I was excited to come in and play that character. I was a little nervous because, like I said before, Karma got a little taste of this and that. Brotherhood was a little bit more, and I'm having these scenes, and I'm like, okay, we gonna do it. Like I would have never done it if I wasn't comfortable
hmm
overall doing it, but it was more so stepping out of like a blanket comfort level that I already had. You know what I mean? So I was pushing it, I was doing a little bit more, but I was okay with that. Like, it wasn't going too far where I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Carlton, I don't know about this. This a little, but I was comfortable, but it's still like doing it for the first time. It's like, oh, and that one, I feel like with Karma, it was still very not PG, but still, it wasn't, we hadn't really gone there yet, still, with like how much we were showing and things like that.
right.
So, Brotherhood was a step up, for me and like what I was experiencing. So, that was like, okay, like, how am I gonna look on camera? Is it gonna translate well and all that stuff? Because when you're filming it, it's not fun. Well, those particular scenes, I should say.
They're not. No, and that's perfectly honest. We've talked about that multiple times on here. That shooting those scenes, it's not as glamorous as y'all think. I
They,
know a
I
lot.
say sex scenes are not sexy to film. Like it may look good to y'all, but actually doing it, it's too much going on.
hmm
And people always ask me, and sorry to cut you off, but
No, no, you
people
good.
always
You good.
they're always like, "Oh, do you get turned on?" And I'm like, "No, like you can't. Like even if I wanted to get turned on, I couldn't get there because first of all, it's a job. I'm speaking for myself. Okay, like I've experienced some other things, but for me personally, it's a job. And I mean, I know sometimes you just can't help. I guess guys can't help it or whatever. I don't know. But for me, it's like I'm here to do a job. You're filming, and it's like you have to cut, get this angle, cut, get this angle. There's
hmm
other people in the room. I mean, I know in the beginning it was really just you and the other actor, but it's not like you're with your man and y'all in love for real, and it's you're there to do a job. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Not like, ooh, I get to kiss so and so. Ooh, you know what I mean? For me, at least, it's like it's like I don't want to say necessary evil because it's not evil, but it's just a part of the business and what the role is requiring of you. So for me, Brotherhood was like another level of taking it to another level with the sex scenes and all that. But it was still fun as a whole to like tap into that type of character because even though in the prior show she had some things going on and she had some ways about her, like Brotherhood, I for the first time I felt really like conniving and doing all these things and
Yes,
really
yes.
key and manipulative. And it was, I hate to say fun, it was fun to do that because like that's not me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's fun to step out of who you are as a person and step into this character and just go there with it, you know? So I don't know. I love Brotherhood. And like I said, aside from just me being a part of it, I felt like the acting was phenomenal and it just got better and better and better every season. And the story just intensified every season. So it was a really great show to be a part of. So thank
Yeah.
you. I'm happy. I mean, and thank you for Karma and thank you for Lyons as well. But you know, I'm so grateful for all of the roles that you've allowed me to be in. But that one was like that one that one's hard to top for me as far as series goes, even though I had some great ones after that as well. But
Yeah.
Brotherhood, I don't just that was just that's the oof, the writing was just sorry. That was
Nah,
amazing.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate that for sure. Brotherhood is no secret. I always say Brotherhood is my favorite VPN show. I love Brotherhood. I love having the opportunity to just tell these stories of just these men and really having to really showcase what we as men, well, what some of us go through on a day-to-day basis. Some of it may not be as conniving or may not be as dramatic, but
Yeah.
overall it was more so about how do we as men deal with our emotions, like how that's because again growing up you're always taught don't cry, be a man, you know, you're a boy, you don't do that, you know, there's different things that you
Stuck in.
learn about toxic masculinity, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
a lot of that stuff for me was like, all right, how can I show these men and how they deal with the things that they have to endure in their lives. But I loved your character. I love Professor. What was her name? Jennifer? Jennifer, right?
Jennifer.
Yes.
Mhm.
I love Jennifer. I love you was the Cedric. Everything. Everything. You know, to this day, I'm sorry, I'm about to spoil it. If you have not watched Brotherhood, I apologize in advance. But you know, Cedric is still upset with me because I killed his character off, right?
Oh yes.
Every time I see him, he brings it up. He's like, you know, I just felt like Lionel should just live. He should have been a list like a bad drug lord. Like this is he had the money, he was running the
Mhm.
government. You should just have him keep going. I was like, said we ended the
That's what the story
show, and that's
goes.
just that's where my pen led me. It just led to his demise. I apologize.
No, I die, but I'm stuck in jail. Like the show ended with me in jail, so I've been well, my character has been in jail all this time.
Yes. I just love y'all's dynamic. Y'all had an amazing chem. Again, you have a way of not just with the men, but with the women that you work with too. Because you and Natalia,
Yes.
yes, it
It's
was great.
so great. Well, I'm like, okay, go ahead.
No, no, no.
Sorry.
I was just saying, you know, you go ahead. I was just saying, you guys. I just think, like I said, your character was. I loved seeing you playing that part because again, it was something totally different from Karma. And you know, honestly, in some ways, Jennifer was the villain of the show, like in certain
Mhm.
situations of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so phenomenal. And this speaks to you as a casting director, how you put us together because even though, and I mean, again, it is a job and we're here to do our roles the way that they're written, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But for us to be able to still have a good time with each other and for the most part, everybody, you know, we love each other or like each other or get along very well. So
Mhm.
it's like, even though like with me and Natalia, we hated each other on camera. You know what I'm saying? We never had any scenes where we were like, oh, we were never friends or anything like that.
Right.
But off camera, sweet. Just she's the sweetest person. You know what I mean? So it was just fun to like, we're like, oh girl, oh, action. You
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah. I remember, I
oh,
remember, I remember one time I think I caught y'all off guard. I think y'all were like giggling about something, and I just said action, and y'all just went straight into it.
yeah. So that's acting, you know what I mean? It's acting. So what you see is not that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the person is. Now, some people may be like that, you know what I mean? Or some
Mm.
people may not even in a negative role, they could be in a happy role and they're exactly happy or they're always happy and all that. You might get a sad role and that's really how you are. And sometimes, and that's how you can pull those emotions too, because you have those different dynamics. But at the end of the day, just because you see someone in like, because Carlton, I've said this before, I'm a villain in a lot of your stuff. So for real, because she's a villain and all that. No, I'm not.
No, and honestly, it is and it's funny because I don't think about it until after we shoot or after the project's out, and I'm like, oh yeah, she is playing the
Yeah.
villain in this and this and this and
And
this.
it's fun.
Who was your favorite character besides your character? Who's your favorite character on Brotherhood?
My favorite character, I would have to say, Courtney's character. Brent, no, what was his
Benji.
Benji, right? Brandon was Karma. Wait, was he Brandon and Karma?
Yeah, he was Brandon and
Oh,
Karma.
okay, yeah. So Courtney, I feel like for me, I saw a lot of growth in his character or in the way that he portrayed his character. I saw like he's always been a great actor. Don't not taking that from him, but I
Right.
just really like with Brotherhood, I really got to see it on film translate to a different level, so I really enjoyed his character. I enjoyed seeing, I mean, he went through a lot. He was
Mhm.
going through a lot of things, you know what I mean? And just to see the way that he was able to portray that and bring out those emotions, he was definitely one of my favorites. Now Donald was another one too, but I think, I hate that I even just said that now because it's like I'm putting them against each other, and I don't mean to do that. But I think overall, I would have to say Courtney's character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would take you putting anybody against each other. I just think Benji's your favorite, but you also enjoy Alex. I think
Yeah,
Benji and Alex definitely are two separate dynamics
right,
as
right.
far as characters are concerned, but they're so similar at the same time. Um,
Yeah,
but as far as the actors are concerned, definitely Courtney and Donald. Um,
amazing.
everything. That's I, every person on that show gave 1,000%.
Mm,
Every man, every woman, every child
mm-hmm.
gave everything on that show, and and I think that is why people love that show so much, and that show resonates with so many people.
Yeah,
Um, I got to shout out Brotherhood because Brotherhood got me my first telly, and telly's like a huge thing, and I just am so grateful because I've been trying to get a telly for a long time.
yeah.
and so I finally got one with Brotherhood, and I am just so grateful to all of you for pouring your hearts into these characters. And I really appreciate you guys for everything you guys have brought forth with this show.
Oh, well, you're welcome. But of course, it's like, thank you. Because also, yeah, we're the talent and we're who's on camera, on screen, but you're the director, you're the writer. So it's like we can't go places if you don't give us the avenue to do it. You know what I mean? So, yes, we have these words on the script and we have to turn them into live action, but you gave us an environment where we could thrive and where we could grow and mature in our roles and elevate our characters. You know what I mean? So, and I think also the fact that you put such good people together, it I don't want to say competition, but it's like you feed off of each other and you learn and you're like, oh, he's doing that. Now I need to step it up because I'm not going to be looking crazy. Like I need
Mm.
to go there too. You know what I mean? So, and like again, it speaks to you as a casting director, a writer, all of that. So, it just as much as you're giving us our flowers, you deserve them right back. You know what I mean? Because we couldn't have done it without you manning the ship, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, oh, I appreciate that. Do not have me on this thing crying, please. I
oh
don't
my,
have time for that.
okay,
Uh,
yes, I was like,
you are, I was saying, I said this to Sharmika and Ron last time. I was like, y'all already see me cry twice, and y'all not about to get a third.
right, right. We might.
um, oh, another scene I want to talk now, just real briefly, because we gotta get to the other stuff.
I know.
I loved you and Joshua scene too in the final season. That scene was great too when y'all was outside and y'all
Oh
um
yeah,
having that little
That's cool.
conversation. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, there's so much to choose from. Like
Yeah.
it's such good stuff.
Yeah.
But I forgot about that until you brought it up. Yeah, that was a good scene too. That was.
You about to make me go watch this show this weekend.
I know. Right?
Well, if you're listening, watch season 1 on Tubi. We need more views so that we can get other seasons on there, please. Thanks.
Please and thank you.
Run them up, run them up. Speaking of other shows that also on Tubi, we got Peace Be Still, which is also on Tubi. Season 1 is there, so run those up so we can get the other seasons on there too, please. Thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate you viewing.
Yes, another, but this is another show that I loved your character on. Naomi Steele.
Whew.
Yes.
Goodness.
If Brotherhood is number 1 for me, Peace Be Still is number 2. I love Peace Be Still.
Yeah.
I love
And
because
I hate
to me, Peace Be Still is My Young and the Restless. It
mm,
literally is that's my flagship soap opera show. If they ever would just say, Carlton, we want to pick up one of your shows for a soap,
yeah,
it would be Peace Be Still.
yeah. That show right there. Yeah, you're right. And I hate to say that after you because it's like, oh, she's just stop being constant. But no, that one was a lot of fun. And then that's another one that a lot of stuff was happening behind the scenes. Um,
Yes, yes.
characters and things like that. I was on crushes. The first
Oh
season,
yeah. So the
yeah,
first season, y'all, okay, yes. So the first, yeah, these are the stories we want. So the first season, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but Kiara was barely walking. Her character was not walking a lot on season 1. She was stationary, either stationary or she was having a seat in season 1. And and I'm gonna let you tell the story of what happened to your foot. But
oh,
Kiara, I just remember her calling me and she was like, "Oh, Carlton, I have some bad news." And I was like, "What is going on?" And I think it was this the week before or two weeks
ooh.
before.
No, it had to have been like the week before because I wasn't on crutches that long. I got a boot after that.
Okay,
So
okay. But I'm gonna let you tell the story of what happened to your foot.
why? Okay, so ugh, my mom is gonna be very mad. I'm telling the story.
Okay, so you don't have to tell like the full story. You can just say,
No, I mean it's not. I mean, she just hates that I blame her, but it is her fault. Okay, it's not her fault, but she led the way for this to happen. Okay, so it was Thanksgiving, and my mom just had to go out Black Friday shopping. She wanted to go, she loved JCPenney, y'all. Okay. So she was like, I gotta go. JCPenney's having their little doorbusters, and everybody gets at least $10 gift card or something like that for walking through the door.
mm-hmm.
So she was going. She's like, do you want to go? No, no, thanks. So she's like, no, we all need to go so we can all get that $10. Y'all give it to me. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go upstairs. I think I was getting a book. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be in the car, or I'm like, it's gonna be a long line. I'm gonna be reading my book or something like that. So I go upstairs, and I was wearing um these really cute booties, right, with a heel on them. So I go upstairs, and as I'm coming back down the stairs, I took that first step, and my heel broke, y'all. My heel broke, and these were not even cheap shoes or nothing like that, but my heel broke. So my foot slid, and then I fell back on my opposite foot, and I just heard this loud pop, and I literally, you hear me, baby? Is that why you looking like that?
I'm listening to the story.
Oh, okay. So, my foot like popped, and I just knew that once that shoe came off, my foot was just gonna be dangling like this. It wasn't broken or anything, but it was sprained really bad,
Uh-huh.
and so that's how I sprained my ankle.
And I just remember you calling me. You was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to work around." Da, 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 da. I was like, "We're going to just make it work. I'm not recasting you, so I just make it work." And we made that thing work.
We did.
I,
I was
I
like I was standing, I was sitting, or something. I was being carried in between the scenes to the new
yes,
location.
yes, yes. Shout out to Nelson, Jamarius. I think Tyrese carried you a couple times. I mean, shout out to all the guys
Yes,
that
thank
help,
you guys.
that help carry you to where you need to be.
Because that was, oh my gosh. And crutches, like that was my first time ever being on crutches. Those things hurt, like under your arms, like the pressure. That's why I had to hurry up and get up out of there. So
Yeah,
out of off of those and into a
yeah,
boot. It
yeah,
was no. I think I
yeah.
was on them for like a whole week. And then I ended up putting like towels under like on it so it could like be a cushion. But I was like, by then I was all sore and like raw feeling. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna have to start walking on this some kind of way. But I wasn't ready to walk on it. So the boot helped out a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to film. And my character, I'm always in the heels. So I'm like, I'm just letting you know, I can't do it this time.
And uh that was not a problem. I was like, okay, and we'll just make it work. I mean,
Do it.
it's what
And
it's one scene
most
that's so.
people
Oh,
don't even know.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying most people don't even know. Like you don't really think like it's like once you hear like, oh, yeah, you were sitting a lot. Or I never did see you walking, but you don't really notice it as you're watching it. I don't think.
Right? No, you
Unless,
don't. And
oh,
you
yeah.
don't. It's two scenes that come to mind that's hilarious to me. That it's like the scene when Sierra, her character, and Imari's character, um when they were this is season one,
Mhm.
when they were in the room and he was working out and she was flirting with him, and it's like you appeared at the door. It's like because I think I told you to lean out. I said okay, this one's to the Kiara, lean out, and I want you to lean in as if you walked up to the door.
Oh my gosh.
And
Look,
then
and we gonna do is we gonna figure it out. Okay.
right, right. And then the second one was when again Sierra's character, I think y'all were in the hallway and you was like, okay, girl,
Oh,
I'll see you at the meeting, whatever. And I think originally you were supposed to walk off, and it was like, okay, we're gonna have to fix that. So Sierra, I'm gonna have you walk off,
right.
and then we just have Kiara just stand there and look like a creeper.
Right. Listen,
No, or
we
yeah,
have to do.
yeah, we got to figure it out because she can't go nowhere.
Right. Not happening unless you want me in on these crutches.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Absolutely not. Exactly. So you're gonna do the walking.
What again? Not Naomi was what I loved about Naomi was she was again conniving. She was manipulative, but she was so driven. She was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
She was not taking anything from anybody.
Right.
You know, I just loved your sparring with Nelson. I loved your connection with Jamarius. I love just sparring with Cass for
I
sure.
know that was another one. Like
Yes.
on camera, going back and forth, but behind the scenes, we just laughing it up, having a good old time.
Yes, yes. I just like it was that was an amazing. I just like it. I loved the the chemistry that you all had together. Even with you and Kenny, I think like even though it was brief and when y'all
Mhm.
it was revealed that your characters were brother and sister,
Right.
it was still like it was just you all just brought something special to that series. What was the one thing about Naomi that you liked?
Okay, so you kind of just touched on it. It's like, yeah, she had all these things going on, but it was because she had that fire under her. And it's like she definitely did some terrible things, but she was coming from a good place. Like she wanted to, it was for her family. Like this is, she was trying to avenge what had happened to her family, you know what I mean? But she just didn't do it in the right way and it didn't ultimately work out for her. But she was doing it from, I guess, an honest place, if that makes sense to say.
Mm,
But I don't know. I just love that she, like you said, like she didn't take nothing from nobody. Like whatever you say, I'm coming back with something harder. Um, and so it's like you never saw her fumble. Like even though she had her moments, you know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't gonna let them see it. You know what I
mm,
mean? So that was fun to kind of tap into that. But she was a tough one. She was. She didn't play.
yeah, like I said, I definitely enjoyed that character. Just a little behind the scenes for me. So I never really intended on the show ending the way that it did.
Mm,
Um, as a creative, you kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, do I want to keep this going with the potential of because let's keep it 100. We had a lot of cast changes on that show.
was that like the most you had in one series? Because that was a lot.
Yes, I think that but yes, I think between Peace Be Still and the Lions Den, I think they're tied for the most
Mm,
cast changes. Cause you don't be feel like rewriting those scripts.
yeah.
Listen, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in those strips, and I ain't feel
Mhm.
like rewriting them. So I was
Exactly.
like,
Hey.
so I didn't feel like it. So but no, I think because sometimes the writing is on the wall and
Mhm.
I really wanted Peace Be Still to end. I wanted it to have an ending. I didn't
Mhm.
want it to be like, okay,
Left's like, well,
left like what happened? You know what I'm
lingering.
saying?
Mhm.
So I was okay, well let's go ahead and wrap it up. But if it was up to me, like for real,
Uh-huh.
Peace Be Still would have lasted a little bit longer.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, there was definitely an opportunity, like there was room for it to continue to grow. Um, I don't know where my character would have fit in that because of what you did to me,
But
but
no. What I'm saying is your
it wouldn't have
character.
happened.
It wouldn't have happened. That like I don't. I like. There was a lot of demises. Is that
Mm-hmm.
a word? Is that a word? Am I saying it right? Demises. Demise.
I mean,
There was a lot of endings.
yes.
There's a lot of endings on the final season of Peace Be Still, but that's not if the show would have continued, that's
Hmm.
not what would have happened.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, because I mean, dang, a lot of people quite literally bit the bullet. so
Yes, absolutely.
so it was a lot of killings going on. But yeah, that was another fun one. I had a really good time um filming that. And I know at what well, I don't know if we're gonna get into this, but and I don't know how much time we got, but with the whole prequel thing that we kind of talked about when we did
Yes. The
the
crossover.
process. Yeah, so I mean that would have been fun if it had some changes would have needed to be made.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but that would have been fun because that really was a good story as well. And then also to see like the beginning, like we got a taste of it with the crossover, but we would have really gotten to like really dive in there and see like how did we really get here? And we had like the flashback scenes too. So you're getting these bits and pieces, but you're not getting the
The
full backstory.
full, yeah. I definitely want to give a shout out to Timothy McCullum and the cast of What's Your Chocolate. We definitely that crossover. I had fun for the most part.
Right.
We had fun for the most part. It's always for the most part. So we're not trying to get too in depth of what's going
Oh,
on. I mean, we give y'all a little bit of stuff, but some things you just gotta, just
keep it in
keep
the
it,
vault.
gotta keep it in the vault. Just so, but yeah, for the most part, we definitely had a good time filming the crossover, and like I said, it was we definitely had plans. We were talking in talks of doing a prequel type
Mhm.
series to show, okay, especially specifically with our show with where the Steels and Naomi and all and her family, like what
Mhm.
was the beginning of all
Right.
that. But again, things happen, and you just gotta go with what you got.
Absolutely.
Yes,
But still fun, and we still had a great show, a great run. Um,
absolutely.
and I still think that the audience, I think like what you were saying, like giving the show a true ending. One of the worst things is watching a show and it gets canceled for whatever reason. And it's like, dang, like something that you're really into. And it's like, man, like, yeah, you're left to like your own understanding of like, oh, I think this is what happened, or I guess this is kind of how the characters ended out. But when there's like a definitive ending to it, it's bittersweet, but at least you get to really put a bow on it and close it up versus just kind of just leaving it out there to like, what if? You know what I mean? So
Right,
that even though it was sad to see the show end, it was good that it had an ending.
right, absolutely. Absolutely. Next show. I know people gonna be like, dang, how many things she in? She's in a lot, people.
Hello, no, I'm just kidding.
It's honestly a tie. It's like you, Shataria, Chantel, Bird, and Rachel. I think y'all five are like, as actresses, I think y'all are on the most stuff. All five of
Mhm.
y'all, I think.
Yeah.
Janika's close up there too.
Yeah, she's coming. She's coming.
Yeah. um, My Life, next series. Very short lived, unfortunately. That's another show I definitely would have loved to have kept going with that show.
Mhm.
But once again, writing's on the wall, and it's okay. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll call this our mini series. Um,
Yeah.
but shout out to everybody. Shout out to Gary, Marquise, Patrick, Lakeisha. I shouldn't start naming names. I'm going to start forgetting.
Right.
Keena.
Uh,
What's my guy's name? Jesse. Jesse.
yes.
It's
Yes. Yes.
Jesse. Um, Shout out to Mike. Um, Michael. Yeah. I think I got everybody. Shout out to the kids.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Oh,
um, just shout out to everybody that was a part of my life. Shout out to you. Um, that show to me was groundbreaking for me because it was the first time actually being able to tell that type of story.
mhm.
Um, I was really excited about working with Gary because I've been a fan of Gary for years, and I
Mhm.
was really excited when he said he wanted to do this show. Um, what was your experience like? Because you played the wife of the lead character. So what was your experience like playing that role and being in this series?
I think for my the character was fun to play as always, but I think it was a very, especially in today's world, I feel like that story being told was very important. And I think more so, and I hate to say this because, of course, the audience doesn't get this, but you get the show. But I think the conversations that we had in between the scenes about those real life situations
Hmm.
was very, it was like if we could have had like if that's a show, I know we talked about having like reunions sometimes and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
if that was a show that you could have like okay, like a breakdown, you know what I mean? Let's talk about it after each episode or after each season. That would have been a really good one to do that with because of the topics of what's happening. Because as much as people don't want to admit it, it happens. It goes on, and these
Hmm.
characters while they are characters, there are real lives. There are people out there that are living these lives for real. Each
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so for me, it was like, like, oh my gosh, this girl is getting played. And I gotta go over here and act like I love him and all that stuff. But of course, the character doesn't know what's going on. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So, but it's just like to see that it's like it was like a struggle, with Gary's character specifically because and I truly do believe he loved his wife, he loved his family, but he has these other feelings and this other side to him that he loves as well. Like he loved, well, actually, did he love him?
I
He
think,
loved,
yeah, they love each other. It was some love
yeah, that was
exchange.
the whole, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm like, it wasn't just a little fling. No, they was real deal, like we need to be together type stuff. So it's like seeing that dynamic, you know what I mean? And it was a struggle. And Gary did such a good job of like really portraying like this is hard for me. Like I love my family and what we have here is good, but he wasn't being fulfilled ultimately, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's that even if you don't have the struggle with the sexuality aspect going on in your life, a lot of times you do have that feeling like, okay, am I really happy? Like how what am I doing? Am I settling? Like what should I do? And his character struggled with that, but he still did a good job of keeping his home a happy home.
mm,
But it's also like, can it truly be happy if you're not happy and it's a lie? You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's like,
yeah,
who's really benefiting here? Is anybody benefiting? You know what I
mm,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
but it was good. It was fun. It was like I said, I felt like that was a role that was important, or the show in general was important because it happens, you know what I mean? And that
right,
needs to be seen, and the fact that we were able to tell that story, I know it's not for everybody, but again, that's real life.
yeah,
Yes, it's a fictional story, but it happens in real life. So whether you
absolutely,
talk about it or um acknowledge it, it's happening. So
yeah,
why not put it on screen? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And and it opens up the door for other people to talk about it. So that's why it's necessary.
yeah. I think at that point it was allowing me as a writer to be transparent. It was just allowing, I think, the actors to be transparent.
Mhm.
Like you said, people deal with that stuff, and I think and for me as an artist and as a creative, I have to be true um to what's out there, be true to reality, you
Right.
know. So I think that
Mhm.
was, like I said, my life definitely it helped me with being more transparent. I think
Mhm.
definitely for sure. And again, the cast was amazing. I think you all did an amazing job. Again, I will say this: the way the show ended is not the way I would have liked for it to end. I think I would have liked for it to have gone longer. Not necessarily saying that Gary's character would not have chose his family,
Mhm.
but I would like to have had explored, like, again, you have somebody like you said who and I want to say this, he does love, Gary's character loved his family. Like it's not like he didn't love his wife. He did love his wife.
Right.
He did love his children. But like you said, he had this other side. He had other feelings that he's always had, but he's never had the opportunity to really tap into it. And I believe, even watching it as a fan of y'all's work, I believe that once he met Marquise's character, it was like, okay, that lock finally
Right.
unlocked. And it was like,
Mhm.
okay, I want to explore this. And
Right.
then I think it got to a point where it's like, all right, when we're in season two, am I willing to risk losing my family to explore this
Mhm.
other place?
Right. That's somewhat unknown for
Right,
him. It's
right,
like uncharted territory. Like I already know what I'm getting over here.
right,
I don't necessarily know like how this is going to work out on this end.
right. And he made a decision. And I think, like I said again, for other people, it would have been no, I'm gonna be true to what I want and move in this direction. But
Mhm.
there are people that are like Gary's character that say, "Hey, I do." I'm not gonna say struggle. I don't want to say struggle. I do have these feelings. However, my love for my family trumps what I desire.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
you have those different, and we, like I said, we were having great conversations off
Yeah,
camera, and you have all these different um ideas and philosophies and stuff when it comes to sexuality. That's why I feel like I believe sexuality, is a wide spectrum, which
yeah,
it is. And I mean, it's so much. Whether you believe it or not, but
yeah,
I believe that it's a wide, it's a spectrum, and it's a lot that goes into all of
absolutely.
that. So,
And we're
um,
learning every day, like with the new, I don't want to say new things that are popping up, but sometimes you things that you're not aware of that are like, oh, okay. You're learning new terms and all that stuff. So it's just like it's very, very, like you said, it's a very broad spectrum, and most people are just trying to figure out where they fit on that in that spectrum.
yeah. Yeah. All right, we gotta move on to the movies now. I know
Oh,
this. I think it's gonna be the longest VPN chat because like it was just so much. Um,
we got a lot to
it's
talk
a
about.
lot. It's a lot.
Cut me off and like, okay, stop talking. Let's go to the next one.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Reindeer games.
Uh,
Reindeer games. First of all, you got an award off of that. So
I did.
congratulations again. You got the Hopper. And we
Yes.
keep saying Hopper Awards when the awards is in the name. So it's actually
Yeah, it
Hopper.
is.
So it's the Hollywood African Prestigious Awards. So it's just
A
it's just
hopper,
it's just
not a hopper
Hopper.
board,
Right.
right?
It's just Hopper. Um we'll do another pod about that. We might have to do a group podcast on that.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do
I'm
that.
for it. I'm here for it because
um
to unwrap.
There's so much to unpack on that. But Reindeer Games, you came in,
Mhm.
you played Simone.
Yes.
You were Kevin J. Stone's opposite.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you were his opposite because
Somewhat.
you was somebody else's opposite too. You was
Right.
you was
She had
Joshua's character's opposite as well. Um, again, you come in. I was like, oh yeah, you are playing the villain in this movie too, dog. I mean,
right.
but how was
Think
that?
this movie, well, even though Reindeer Games wasn't originally a Christmas movie, but when
Right.
it turned to a Christmas movie, you think, oh, Christmas movie is going to be happy. And of course, there's going to be some type of something going on. And then, but it's going to be, da-da-da. And it's like, at least for me, no, I didn't get my little miracle. Like, I didn't get my little Christmas fairy tale situation. But that was fun. But yes, it was like, dang, it's a Christmas movie, and I'm still playing the villain. Like, but
Fa-
it was
uh,
fun.
yes, yes. I think definitely favorite scene, of course, was when you came in and bust everybody out. That
Oh
was
my gosh. Yeah, that was definitely my favorite scene as well because it's like, yeah, I did some dirty things in the beginning, like how I rejected his proposal. No, I'm not even I didn't do it.
Simone.
Simone.
Yeah.
Simone, how the way she rejected that proposal, like Kiara, will never live that down because people are like, why you do that there like that? I'm like, I didn't do it. I just followed what the script said. My character. But yeah, and then she had her dirt with dating the friend and all that stuff. But she was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be called out for all this stuff, everybody's secrets is coming out too. So she was like, oh, mm-mm. I'm coming in this house and I'm burning it down. Okay. So
So
that was
yeah,
fun.
so for people who don't know, Kiara gets really cold easily. Um, so how was it for you actually filming a Christmas movie in the summertime? Because Because that's the reason why I said what I said at the beginning before I started this. This Kiara gets cold really easily, so I feel like this must have been a treat for you.
No, absolutely. Um, Kiara gets cold really easily, and Kiara gets hot really easily as well. Okay. And after having a baby, I get hot like I'm like, dang, I was always cold, like always, always. Now I'm like always hot, but I still get cold. But no, so okay, so when you're filming, guys, especially I feel like in particular with indie projects, you're very mindful of the sound and the noise and what's going on. So everything gotta go. Okay, if it's not in the script, it's gotta go. The noise
Mhm,
wise.
mhm.
So you're like, no, can't be washing clothes and drying clothes, no dishwasher, no refrigerator, and no AC. Okay, so again, we're filming a Christmas movie where we're supposed to be quote unquote cold, even though it was like, oh, it was like a hot Christmas or like a
Yeah,
warm Christmas or
yeah,
warmer winter. Um, it still was nowhere near cool for us because we're filming it in Georgia, in Augusta, Georgia. It was August, July, end of
it
July,
was
or
something like that, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's like the hottest part of the summer. And so it was like weird. You were gracious enough to add that in that it was going to be a warmer winter. So we didn't have to be completely bundled up in like snowsuits and stuff, but we
Right,
still looked like it was winter time. And so even though it might not always be really cold in Georgia for the winter time, it still can get cool or whatever. Just depends on what the weather doing that year. And so we had to wear sweaters and stuff like that. So yeah, it was hot. It was hot. And the fact that I had to like that proposal, I remember just looking at the scene. I'm like, oh my gosh, like am I sweating or is it just like the oil shining from the makeup or what is going on? I don't even know because it could be both. Like,
yeah. It was definitely a thing. We was dealing with the heat, um, COVID,
oh
um, so
yes.
it was a lot going on. It was definitely a lot going on,
Yeah.
but we
We had we had a lot of things working against us as far as the filming goes. But I mean, as far as the production though, I feel like we did a really good job. And
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, like we pushed through. We got it done in 2 weekends.
Yep,
The whole movie,
yep.
the whole movie filmed in 2 weekends. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. Of course, like I said, I mean, I know it's fun playing the villain. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to no, I'm not even gonna say that. It was fun playing the villain. So it was a good and I got to let other people know that they stuff stank too. You know what I mean? But it was, the way that she did him, that was so dirty. Like she did not have to reject that proposal like that. You know
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
But
I think honestly, I think it would have hit harder if it wasn't a Christmas movie. I think the
oh
way it was presented would have definitely hit a lot harder.
yeah, absolutely. Because you had the Christmas to kind of fall back on because it's supposed to be the happiest time of the year. And even
Right,
though Kevin was going through it over there, it's still Christmas. You know what I mean? So
right.
you saw on the radio, you gotta be happy, and how he was talking about the ho hos and all that stuff. Like, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't
No, no, you good.
say
You
nothing
good.
too explicit with that, but it was in the
Nah, you
script.
good. You
So.
good. Oh man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was definitely a time to be had. So next movie,
Next,
you weren't the villain. I don't think you were the villain. Very Merry New Year.
I appeared to be the villain.
You think so?
Yeah, in the like, well, not in the beginning, but until people knew what was really going on, I think it looked like I was a villain because I was being really cold to what appeared to be my husband, but
I
we
got
weren't,
you.
you know?
I got you.
So
Oh,
even though,
let me
yeah,
go ahead.
mhm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
was gonna say, even though, yeah, you're right, I wasn't truly the villain, but until you get the full story, it looks like I was.
Got
I
you.
think.
I want to go back to Reindeer Games real quick. I finally gave y'all bloopers y'all had been asking for too, because
Oh,
they.
yes. Listen, let me tell you something. I specifically know that I was a big headache because I'm like, Carlton, there's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Like, it would be so good to see that we do have fun. And like, because a lot of the times, and some, of course, you can't put bloopers with everything. Sometimes it has to still, you don't want to take away from what's happening in the story.
Right,
But
right.
a lot of the stuff is so heavy. You know what I mean? A lot of things that the characters are dealing with. So it is fun to see like that other side of like, okay, yeah, that scene was intense, but on the other side of it, we was having a time. Okay. So yes, thank you for that because and even if you don't put it on the credits, like at least let us see them. Like we want to relive these memories again.
Oh, but yeah, but back to Very Merry New Year. Yeah, I think, yeah, I think it was. I don't know, even in the way it was presented, I wouldn't necessarily still call your character the villain. Or I would say she was cold, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think she was the villain necessarily.
Yeah.
I think from back, Nicole's character, you could be like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah, no, no, no.
she gonna be a problem.
Let me be very clear. I was not the villain. I don't think that I was the villain. I think that it just leaned that way. It looked Nicole was absolutely the villain in the story. I'm not taking her, Nicole, you got it, girl. Okay, for that movie, you were definitely the villain. But you're right. Yeah, my character was definitely cold and you don't really understand why. So that's why I feel like you don't, at least the viewers, until you get to the end, you know what I mean, like
Mm,
or that conversation that we had, I feel like you're not really understanding, like, dang, why she doing him like that or whatever. Especially in the beginning where, I'm on the phone, I'm really happy with my man or whatever, and you
right,
see this guy come up, I'm like, ugh. And then we get to the cabins, and you're like, oh, that's your husband? Yeah, but no. Like
right,
he's like we're living a lie, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So yeah, she definitely was cold, and I just feel like it kind of read like, what's going on? She's mean and evil for what?
yeah,
But then you get the story as the story goes along.
yeah. I that group, y'all. I think I have bits and pieces of each project that I'm like, I love, that I love, I love, I love. I definitely love the casting in this movie. I
Mm,
loved all of you all together. Um, I love you. This is my first time actually really seeing you and Shay work together. Like actually in scene, like the scene when y'all were
yeah.
talking outside,
Mhm.
beautiful. I love doing Fred's excuse me, Devon. He likes to be called Devon. I love you and Devon's I love Jaw scenes. You and Janika, like even like I said, that you and Nicole, everybody that whole casting was just perfect. It was definitely perfect. I talked about this, of course, with the whole filming that they actually filmed on location at the cabin. Um, so this is it wasn't funny then, but it's funny now that I'm thinking about it. So and I've already admitted this, so it's all good.
Okay. Okay.
So for people who know, I talked about this already. I had to go to the hospital. We were done filming and my blood pressure spiked up to 200 something and I
Mhm.
felt like I was about to die.
Mhm.
And Kiara actually was the one that came up. She just happened to come upstairs because nobody could
Your
hear
life.
me.
No, I'm
Huh?
just kidding. I said I saved your life
No,
though.
no, no, but low key, yes. Low key, you did actually save my life. Um, so she came up the steps. And of course, I felt like I'm about to die. Calling 911, please, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, I gotta go pee. No, and before I told you was like, I gotta go pee first. I was like,
Yeah,
no, I'm about to die. Like I felt like I'm about to die. And so you
no,
can't.
no. Well, go ahead. I'm gonna let you tell your
But
version.
you came back. And this is the part that's fun. This is the part that's funny to me. The part that's funny is when you whispered to me. He was like, "Did you take an edible?" And I was like,
No, I knew you took it. I
I
was
know,
if
but
I
you,
could say that you took.
yeah, but I was like, yeah, I did. But I don't think,
Because you
I
don't
don't
know
think,
with your mom. I'm like, I don't know. Because I was talking to the paramedics. I'm like,
yeah,
probably important information for them to have. Like,
right, exactly. But yeah, just so we're clear, we were done filming with everything, so everybody was kind of we was just chilling out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. It's my first time ever trying it, and I will never try it again.
right. And you probably, like, but I want to say, yeah. So it was like everybody was pretty much doing their own thing at that point. I mean, we were kind of like, I don't want to say grouped up, but like some people would sleep. Me and some others were in the jacuzzi. You were up there asleep. And yes, I had to pee. So I'm like, I'm not going to pee in the jacuzzi. I'm going to the bathroom. So
I'm glad you didn't pee in the
of,
jacuzzi.
of course not. Of course not. So I go inside to use the bathroom and I don't remember. I remember hearing you call out, and I don't remember if I was hearing you from like once I got inside, I heard you from downstairs, but I think I did. I'm pretty sure. So I came upstairs and I'm like, Carlson, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? And I'm thinking, because you did admit to the people,
Right.
I'm like, okay, I think he's just having like a bad trip or something. I wasn't really sure at that moment what was happening. So I'm scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, is it the edible? Like, it's something else. Like, and I think you said you thought you were having a heart attack or something like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, Austin, I promise you, like, I'm gonna get you help, but I need to pee. And it was not because I didn't care enough. I just otherwise I was just gonna pee on myself right there in the living room.
Well, in hindsight, I'm so glad you went to go use the restroom because
So
yes,
and
no,
I had already been holding it because we were outside having a good conversation. I didn't want to miss nothing, but I'm like, okay, this one I really gotta go.
yeah,
Go in there, and then that happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So I went to the bathroom, and then I don't know if you, because I remember being in the bathroom and hearing you. Is anybody gonna help me? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm almost dead. And so, and like you said, it wasn't funny in the moment.
it wasn't funny in the moment,
Now,
but it's yeah.
now you made it through, you survived. We can talk about it. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to do in this situation. I think I need to call 911. And I think, because I remember going back downstairs to the jacuzzi, and I think I was trying to get everybody else upstairs because I'm like, I don't know exactly what to do. I'm calling 911, and I know they can walk me through what needs to happen at that point or whatever. But I'm like, I need everybody because there were people inside, and I guess everybody was, sleeping through it. So I'm like, okay, I am just one person. I'm like, I don't know if we need to get you out the chair, get you in the car, take you or whatever. But we called the ambulance, and they came,
And
and
also,
I
let's
on the phone.
also add, it was raining, it was flooding.
Yeah. So it flooded because it rained like the whole second to our last day there or something like that. So the
Hmm.
river flood. Oh, that let me tell you something. Sorry to switch gears real quick, but that was the craziest time. It was such a good time. Like I'm so glad it was the people that was there because we
Yes.
did amazing time. At least from my point of view, I had so much fun filming. It was so much stuff happening behind the scenes that was hilarious. But this was a moment that was like a serious moment. With like, okay, we need to handle this. Um, but it was just so much happening. Like, and it was just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if one more thing happens, you know what I mean? So we had to get you to the hospital, and Shay went with you, and Shay is like, what, 5 what? Because you're 6.
Hmm.
What are you,
6 foot
over
even. I'm 6 foot even.
6? And so you had to go through the water to get to the ambulance.
Right.
And it's, I'm gonna go with him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm worried about her getting swept away because she's so short.
Yeah.
And the water was high, you know
The
what I
water
mean?
was high. I tell you, I almost gave up. I was like, never mind.
Carlton.
No, I'm no, I'm on some real
I'm
stuff.
like,
Seriously, I was like, because they was carrying me, and it was just so much.
mm,
I was like, forget it. And I did like this, and then they was like, no, no, no. So it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a
yes,
lot.
that was a traumatic experience, I'm
Yeah,
sure, to go through. And
yeah,
it was hard for us to see that too, because we're like, oh my gosh, like we go from having such a good time and then this happens, and it's like you feel guilt. Like, okay, could I have done something differently? Could I have helped sooner? You know what I mean? Like, is he going to be okay? And of course, we prayed and we knew that you were going to be okay. We believed that, but in the moment going through it, it was hard, you know. And
Mm.
then what else happened? Like, we
This
talked
is
about the fridge have
the door handle came,
I'm
the
not
door
gonna say
the door came off. It was just a
or
lot. It was a lot. It was a lot, man.
and
But
then
like,
what's
go
I
ahead.
can't remember her name, but when she came with her husband and she was scared to get out the
Oh,
car
Monica,
because of coyotes, I think, or something like
Monica,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And then
It was,
that's not I
I don't know. Go ahead.
was gonna say, and then that's not being able to find like food. Like we had to go to Walmart every time because there was like nothing
Yeah, yeah.
down that seemed like it was racist.
Yeah.
But
So from my understanding, that was a sundown town.
sundown. Mm,
Yes,
okay, that makes a lot of sense then,
that's
because
my
like I think I was the first person to get there, and I had to use the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop over. I went to like it was some grocery store, and I go and everybody's looking at me like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm just like, "Oh,
yep,
going to the bathroom. I'm getting back in my car and I'm going where I feel safe."
yeah,
And I think that night, the first night, it was like me. I think it was me, Janika, and Nicole went to try to find some food. Everything was closed. We went into like a Subway. But I think after that, we just kept getting food from Walmart and just cooking because we're like this. We just gonna stay in this cabin.
right,
We here
absolutely.
ourselves. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like I said, I had it was a great experience. I didn't necessarily have fun because as a producer, you're trying to make sure everything
Yeah, so
gets
it's
done.
mhm,
It had you know, we only had a limited amount of time to be
yeah,
in that space. So I was like, all right, we gotta make sure we got all the scenes done.
mhm,
So, you know, like I said, but it was definitely a great experience having to being able to
yeah.
do that. Um,
And then
go
real
ahead.
quick, I just kudos to you again for casting because I feel like the cast that you put together, specifically the cast that had to be in the cabin, because everybody in the film is not in the cabin scenes. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
you did a great job of putting us together because we really did mesh well. Like there wasn't, I don't remember. I don't think that there was any drama or anything like
nah, it was definitely a week of from a personnel perspective, it was a peaceful week. It was
yeah. Yeah.
now production may have been a little chaotic. We was trying to get everything done, but overall, it was you know it was a great experience for
Yeah.
sure, definitely for sure. All right,
You know,
so
we talk about something.
go ahead.
I wasn't on. We didn't talk about X Factor.
Yes, you were an X Factor. You were recast in X
Yeah.
Factor. The young lady, the young lady who played my sister, she couldn't film that season. I remember hitting you up, like I think the week before or 2 weeks before, and I was
Yeah.
like,
It was
it was a
before.
week before. I was like, "Yo, what are you doing this weekend? This next weekend?" She was like, "Nothing." I said, "I need you to come in and play this part, please, because I don't feel like rewriting these scripts, and the young lady can't make it. I can't remember what happened. I think she had. I think it was COVID. I think she had COVID.
Oh,
And she couldn't. I think I don't. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I believe that's what it was. It was she was dealing with COVID, and I was like, "Can you please come in?" Because we couldn't film another weekend because we had already rented stuff, and it was just a lot going on. So thank you for stepping in and playing my little sister.
Why I wanted to talk about that real quick was because that was the one show where I was really clean. Like, I didn't have no dirt really.
Clean
And
and
so
clean and goofy.
goofy, yeah. And that's the and I like that because I was able to show a different side. Like I was able to showcase a different um character that I could
Mm,
portray. But
mm,
the only thing is because that character was already established. Even though I felt like you gave me a little bit of reins to kind of like make it my own, I still knew that there was an audience that was watching it. I didn't want to stray like too far from the character, you know what I mean? From how
yeah.
it was already played. So, but it was fun. I had a great time and I was happy to play someone goofy and silly or whatever. But I do think that if I would have been able to do it from the beginning, I would have been able to tap in more and make it like truly my own versus
Yeah.
having to come in and be like, okay, so I know she did it like this, you know, and of course I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna do it exactly like her, but you know, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to stray too far
Right.
from what already established.
Right. You
It
and
was like
Chantel,
a character,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. And I said you and Chantel had definitely good chemistry on that. I love that. The only obvious difference was you're tall.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was it. It was like, oh, she grew overnight. I mean, she had a little growth
Right.
spurt. So
Yeah. But yeah,
um,
I just want to talk about that because, like I said, I
yeah.
got to play like a little comedic role in that, so that was fun.
Yeah, no, of course, definitely. Okay, so we got For the Love of Christmas 1 and 2. Um, you play Faye. You
Which
come in.
other, for the most part, clean character too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't, not even for the most part. I mean, she is. I mean, she just didn't like
Yeah,
she
you're
just
right,
didn't like Rashad's fiance. She
and right
obviously
so.
exactly she saw some things. Obviously, she knew something was up, but she didn't know exactly what was up, but she knew something was up.
Yeah,
But you play Rashad's best friend, best female friend, also co-worker. Y'all work at the same school. Y'all grew up together. And then of course we got Elijah comes in. He also went to school with y'all. And then y'all just fade Elijah and falling in love and everything. How was that? Because again, this is something different for your character. I mean, for you playing this type of character in the VPN universe. How was
yeah,
how the experience? But another holiday movie, of course.
right.
How was this experience for you different from the other ones?
I think this one was different because I got like my little Christmas miracle. You know what I mean? So it's like in the other films, well, not I'm not gonna say other films, but in Reindeer Games specifically, you know, I didn't win, so to speak, in that one. You know what I mean? Like my
Mm,
character, she didn't gain anything. She didn't end up with a guy or nothing like that, you know. But in this movie, I did. So it's like I came in the movie starts, I'm single, and I'm like, these guys, no, no, I don't know about them. I'm not worried about it. Da, 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 da. But then Elijah comes in and he like sweeps her off her feet. So it's like, okay, I can chill. Like this is the guy, the man of my dreams. He was really sweet, and um, it didn't make the movie, but I'm laughing at the stuff that he was like the improv.
yes, yes.
But like he was like for Faye, like that fairy tale guy, and she ended up getting, she got what she wanted in the end, and what she deserved. You know what I mean? So that was fun to do that. And um when you think of, I don't know if I said this already, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but when you kind of think of a Christmas movie, you kind of think of like that fairy tale ending. You know what I mean? So like I said, I didn't get that with Reindeer Games, but I did get it in For the Love of Christmas 1 and 2. And so that was fun. I did love, like I said, I do like playing the villain now. So don't get it twisted. So I did the back and forth with me and Rashad's fiance, ex-fiance, all that, or whatever. So that was really fun to do. But then in For the Love of Christmas 2, you kind of get to see, even though we weren't in it that much, you still get to kind of see like where our lives, what direction our lives are headed in. You know, we
Mhm.
got me at the end of the first one, and the second one I'm pregnant, and we end up having the baby. And so I came into it already being a bonus mom because he already had a daughter.
Mm.
We had a child together, and then when we were filming that, fun fact, if you didn't know, I was actually pregnant when
Yes.
we filmed For the Love of Christmas too, but it was very early on. So my
Right.
character was way further along than I actually was. So I had to have the pregnancy belly and all that, the pillow or whatever. Um, so that was fun. And it was like, I was like, dang, Carlton, you can't just film this in some months later when I'm actually really showing. But that was fun. You know what I mean? It kind of, I think now when you come out of your retirement,
Oh
If you
gosh.
Yeah. When you come out of your retirement and you cast me in a role where I have to play a mother, I think because I'm a mom now, that's a role that I can tap into. That'll bring a different aspect of it versus like playing a mom and you have nothing to, even though I've cared for children and I love children, prior to becoming a mom myself, um, it's not the same.
Hmm.
Once you're actually a biological mom, you can tap into that a little bit differently. So I'm excited to see myself in a role in the future where I'm a mom and I can use my actual experience from being a mom in my role. But but yes, back to the topic. Those movies were very fun to do. And I like to see, again, I love to see the progression. And so when you have like a one series show, or I'm sorry, one season show, or a movie that's just the one, it's like if it's a film, right? And it ends. It has an ending, but you always kind of wonder, like, well, what are they doing now? So when you get to see like a part two and see how it transpired, like what transpired and where it progressed to, it's fun to see that because you get to add layers to the story.
Hmm.
So I enjoy doing sequels and stuff like that because it's fun to see where, like, okay, well, where are they now? You
Yeah.
know? So that was my rambling way of saying I had a good time,
No, but you good. I think it's funny that so we had the premiere for Love of Christmas 1
which was
at
amazing.
with yes, it was awesome. It was
Yes.
definitely awesome. So we had that at the Riverwatch Cinemas. Um
Mhm.
and I thought it was funny how my sister kept saying, because she saw the movie, but she kept saying it's something off about Aaron's character. She just kept saying it's something off about that Elijah. And it was funny because she told me that I guess y'all were sitting together or sitting near each
Yeah.
other, and you were like excited. You were excited about Faye and Elijah. She was like, "Ugh,
And
that's."
yeah, the whole time. We were sitting right next to each other. She was to my left. And this girl was like, "Oh my dad, what Elijah do?" Like, it's just like she just, it was something about him. She just couldn't put her finger on it. You know what I mean? But she
Yeah.
was like about him. But
But
he is,
I kept trying to reassure everybody. I said no. I said here, Elijah is truly. It's okay. We're going to actually have a guy that truly says what he is. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I know we're used to the twists and the turns of all
right.
that stuff, but I said no. Elijah is truly what he is. And I
Right.
think that's another important aspect to see. And
Mm,
I love you and I love again you and Aaron. Awesome. It was amazing, amazing pairing. And I love seeing, even like you said, even though y'all weren't in the second one a lot, I thought it was still imperative to the story to show what Faye and Elijah were doing. I mean, they're Rashad's best friends. So I mean, of course, they're still an important part of the story. So we
mhm,
definitely needed to see that. Um, I asked everybody this that I've interviewed, I talked, well, had VPN chat with already that's been a part of these movies. This is not, let me preface this. This is not happening. This is not really happening. This is a fictional situation.
okay.
If 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 there
Hmm.
was a For the Love of Christmas 3, what do you think Elijah and Faye are doing?
Okay, so when we do the third movie,
If
when we have the third movie come out. Now, if allegedly, hmm, I could see, oh my goodness. I'm sorry, my mom keeps calling me. I'm like, girl, I'll call you back. Okay, so if if there is a third movie to come, I believe that, well, obviously, at the end of the second one, well, yeah, at the end, they had their baby, so
yep,
they're now a family of four.
yes,
Um, so I was definitely, they had a, did they have, it was a son, right?
yep,
Yeah. So they had a son. So I think sometime I don't think it's gonna pick up right there. I think sometime should kind of pass, not a whole lot, but I think it should maybe like 6 months in the future or something like that. And you'll see them being parents. Faye is a first time mom, like biologically, you know what I mean? So you get to see her growth in that. And then also with Elijah's character, he was very big into like giving back and things like that. So I would definitely see them having like their own um some type of, oh, what is the word?
Non-profit.
Nonprofit organization. Yes, thank you. I can definitely see them like tapping into that. Um, and with Faye being a teacher, I could see it having something to do with like kids and like underprivileged kids or something like that. I could absolutely see it going in like that direction. Um, you just asking about our character, like
I
my
mean,
story.
if you want to continue, you can.
Well, I would love to see the country cousins, like see how that dynamic works with the son, because he came in, out of nowhere in the first, oh, I'm sorry, in the second movie. So I would like to see how they grew, because Shamika, her character was not with it at first, and then she came around. You know what I mean? So I would be interested to see like their bond, like where are they now? And I'm sure they'll probably still have some struggles overall, just because of her not being able to have her own children. But I would like to see their growth in that. And then also, of course, Rashad and Annie, I want to see where they're at in their relationship, and um what he's doing with his book and his book tour. He was going on tour, right? I know
So
about the
so he's
tour.
working. He's working on the second book on the second one.
Gotcha, right.
Yeah.
So like what he's doing is he like some world-renowned author that's just going on all these tours now. Is he gonna be too busy? Or is he gonna take a step back, and because he's not only is he newly married, but that's still like a new relationship. It kind of came out of nowhere after the last one ended. So how are they doing? Like
Hmm.
are they really still gelling together? Is it going well? Are they settling into that beautifully, or like what are their struggles as being newlyweds and then still also being like a new-ish couple?
Right.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
it's a
I
lot
I I
to pack
yeah,
in.
it's definitely a lot to unpack, I think. I mean, even though I feel like the movie's ended, but I feel like there's obvious it with the way the story was told, is obviously could be more story to happen with that. All right, before we get off, we gotta talk about Pastor Thorne. Um
Okay.
you were in that as well. And then I touched on when we talked about Karma. I said there was a scene that we reshot
Mhm.
and that was added to Pastor Thorne.
Yes.
And well, I've talked about it already with Donald. We'll talk about it with you. So the
Okay.
scene in Karma when Donald's character was talking to his wife and he found out that she was cheating on him and she's pregnant, and he reveals that he can't have children and all this other stuff. So, in all honesty and all transparency, that scene was not acted the way that I wanted it to be acted.
Right.
Um, not at the and it wasn't Donald's fault. And so, and also honestly, but no, for real talk, it was to the point where when you're trying to direct somebody who doesn't want to be directed, there's nothing more you can really do. It's like, all right,
Right.
well, I'm gonna just record what you give me, and it is what it is. But that
Yeah.
scene deserves so much more. And I said, okay, I'm gonna actually put that scene. I said, since Donald is playing this part,
Mhm.
let's put that scene in Pastor Thorne.
If it's an opportunity
Yeah,
to have that moment that he was
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So your character in Pastor Thorne is you're married to Minister Nathan, but you're also having an affair with the pastor. You are sleeping with Pastor Thorne. You're like literally
I
in
love my no, my characters love their affairs, okay?
you're literally one of the first. Your character is literally one of the first people that we see in this movie
Mhm.
of lust and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, what was your thoughts to Pastor Thor? I mean, and you're briefly in two, even though we shot your scene in two, we shot that with the first one. So technically you're in both movies. So just overall, like what were your thoughts with the Pastor Thorne movies?
Where do I begin? Okay. That that was that okay. You did such an amazing job writing those. And I know you're retired or whatever. But
Well, let me first say thank you. I don't want people to think I'm rude. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. But I was gonna say, I know when you first brought up the movies to me, you said that there were supposed to be three in there. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I hope I know that you said it was supposed to be a trilogy. Okay. So with the first two, um, it was just really good. What I liked about the first one was all the dynamics you have going on, because as much as, again, just like with my life, a lot of times the stories that you're telling are things that are really happening, but people don't want to talk about it. So you have those pastors that are like, they get crazy, they get cocky and arrogant, and they somehow think that they are God now, and that everybody's supposed to worship them and do all these things for them or whatever. And it's like, no, like, that's not exactly how this works. So he took it to a whole nother level. He was overboard. Marquise's character was overboard with that. And so it was interesting to see, like, how he felt. It's like he really felt that he deserved everything that he was doing, and how he was treating people. It was totally okay with him. So
Mhm.
you like to see how things are like, oh no, stuff's hitting the fan now. It's not gonna turn out how you think it's gonna turn out. And then in the second one, um, I think it was so necessary because you got to see where he got it from.
Mhm.
It's like, it almost makes you feel bad for him, as bad as he was. It's like you don't want to like him, but it's like, dang, now I see what happened, and I'm like, dang, I feel bad for you. It's generational trauma, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's your daddy is the reason you're like this, because you acted just like him, and
Right.
you got to see that backstory. You know what I mean? And then the dynamic with the son. Wait, yeah, I mean, it's out. We can talk about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, you
It's
can talk about it. You can talk about it.
Yeah, the dynamic with the son, and now he's really your brother. I mean, it was just a lot, and I loved Lakeisha's character, because it's like, you think she's some you. I hate to say weak, but you look at her and you're like, oh, she's just like, she's submitting to her man. He's doing her dirty, and she's crying, and she's upset. She deserves better. It's like, oh no, no. Behind the scenes, she working, she doing some stuff. Like, I'm not gonna give too much away, even though you should have seen it by now. But it's just like, to see how she was really orchestrating a lot of what was going on, and
Mhm.
how a lot of what turned out, how it turned out for the pastor. You know what I mean? It's like she got her get back, So
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, same thing in the second one. I mean, same thing with the mom. You know.
yes, yes. Oh, yes, because she poisoned him. So
I mean, I just thought it was important to see. I thought it was important that you to show that, oh no, these women, they may have the appearance as if, like you say, for lack of better words, they're weak. Oh,
right.
but no, no, baby.
Mm-mm, not the case.
No, no, baby. I'm running this. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what's about to go down.
And
So,
that's true in a lot of cases, because a lot of times, and I'm not going to say men, but people, I'll just say people in general, think that they're getting away with stuff. And it's
mhm,
like, just because I haven't said anything about it yet, or I haven't made a big deal about it, does not mean that I'm just oblivious to what's going on, or it does not mean that I'm not going to somehow let you know that I know what's been going on, or whatever. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
not everybody's going to handle it in the same ways as the women did in the movies, but some people are. Why do you think there's Snapped and all those other shows and stuff like
Right,
that are real life stories? You know what I mean?
right.
can only take so much. Not to say that what they did is right,
Right,
but
right.
you never know what you're dealing with, and you're putting your trauma on someone else who has potentially their own trauma that they're dealing with, and now they got to deal with the trauma that they dealt with or are dealing with, plus what you're putting onto them now. And sometimes it's too much for people,
Yeah.
and you can't control how somebody reacts to the stuff that you give them, So Pastor Thorne he deserved a lot of what he got. Okay.
Yeah. I just thought, I definitely, like you said, I thought it was important. I mean, it was funny. This podcast that I listened to, um, that I listen to regularly, they talked about, they reviewed Pastor Thorne too. They reviewed the first one too, but they reviewed Pastor Thorne too. And it was like the one, one of the co-hosts, he was like, "You're not about to make me sit up here and like Pastor Thorne. He's,
Oh,
he's still a piece of S. But you're not about to sit up here. I mean, I know what he went through, but you're not about to make me like Pastor Thorne."
yeah.
So, so it's
Yeah.
fun, but I thought it was important definitely when I wrote the second one, because I said the first one is based on a play I did called Surrender. So that script was kind of solidified. I just kind of just did what I need to do to make it to a film. But the second one, I thought it was important. Okay, I said, why is Jacob Thorne doing what he's doing? What is the root of
Mm-hmm.
that? And of course, the root is what he saw
Go.
with his father, with his growing up.
Mhm.
So, and I think that put things into perspective for him, and also too, even just the revelation of what happened with his son now turned brother. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe this is why I had so much contention with Jr. Maybe this is why there's so much
Mm-hmm.
on between us, because of this secret that's been that both of us didn't know anything about. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. And that, like I said, it goes back to like the generational traumas that you know what I mean? Like, and then his dad, Reggie's character, put it on him, and then he's putting it on his son. You know what I mean? Well, not his son, but
yeah,
like for
yeah,
for the first 20 whatever years of his life that he thought he was his son. You know what I mean? So all that time he had hammering into him this type of idea of what a man is supposed to be, and he knew it was wrong. You know what I mean? But he didn't know no other way to be. You
right,
know. And I want
right.
to say something.
Go ahead.
Can't talk. I know we probably way over the time because yeah, I'm sure we because the other ones were not this long. But I just want to say Reggie. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is about that man that can play these evil characters like that. Because even in we didn't talk about Saved and Salacious, the Saved and Salacious,
Oh
but
yeah, I forgot about that.
he it's just like that and oh my gosh, from Brotherhood, that scene where he's spat on his son.
You was there.
I
You was there for that.
I was there for that scene, and oh my, and it was just like I can't remember the guy. What's the young man's name? That guy,
Brandon. Brandon.
Brandon. He was so like his composure. Like he was, you know what? It's a part of the role. We're doing it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, we were all looking like, because Reggie didn't just spit on him. Like he really went in. You know, he drunk the water before to make sure he had to spit to spit. Okay. It was, I mean, he does a phenomenal job of making you hate him. I mean, those characters are necessary because you do have, I mean, you just have to have that drama. You know what I mean? People love
yeah,
drama. So it's a necessary evil.
yeah,
But it's I think it's really telling for a person to be able to play those types of roles on camera and sell it so good that people really don't like them. But when you meet them, they are nothing like it. And they're so nice and so sweet. And Reggie is such an amazing person, but he can really go there and make you mad. Okay.
absolutely,
The scene.
absolutely. And, and like you said, you were in the same installations too. We won't get into that because we are definitely over time. But you were
Yeah.
also in the same installations, which for people again, I talked about it with Bird. Originally supposed to be a series. It did not get
Mhm.
picked up, and it was like, okay, we're gonna make it to a film. I know a lot of people was like, well, what happened next? And I'm just
Yeah.
like, uh,
So that's
uh,
another if could be a part two when you come out of retirement.
I'm not
And
fooling
I'm
with you. I'm
yes, you
not
are.
I'm not fooling with you.
We gonna talk
um
about it.
oh, okay, we'll talk about it offline. Okay, yeah. Last question.
Mhm.
And then we may have answered this already, but your favorite role out of everything you've done. We've named so many projects. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Kiara, for writing this long. And it's like, and then honestly, just talking about it, I was like, yeah, you've been with us for a minute too. Like you definitely, I would potentially put you at OG status because like we've been running off the. I was like, yeah, you've been in a lot of projects. So, but I
Yeah.
want to say thank you. Thank you for your talent. Thank you for your professionalism. Um, thank you for your grace. And thank you for just also personally, just thank you for your friendship. I truly value I value you as a person and I value just all the things that you've done for me as a friend and all the things you've done for Victory Productions as an actress. So thank you for everything that
Oh my.
you have done. I appreciate you.
Yeah. You're welcome, Carlton. Like you, I love you. Okay. I told like when you asked me to do this, I'm like, Carlton, there's not much I'm gonna not say yes to. Like, and I know me well enough to know what I'm comfortable with. So you're not even gonna ask me for ask me to do
Abs-
something. I'm gonna
absolutely.
like so
Absolutely.
need you got it. Okay. Like I appreciate you. Like I said, coming in not knowing me, you gave me an opportunity and you continue to give me opportunities that have led to other opportunities with other people. So I appreciate you. Like, I mean, honestly, I was looking at my credits recently and I'm like, all but maybe five of them are with you. So I'm like, it's it you really hold a really special place in my heart outside of like my roles outside of theater, of course. Like on film, most of my credits, the majority of them are with you. And I really appreciate that because I'm not someone that goes out for a lot of auditions and stuff like that. Um I mean, I would go out for more, but it's like I don't find them a lot.
Hmm.
So when I do find them, of course, if it's something I'm interested in, I'm gonna audition for. But I'm more so audition for theater a lot, and you have kept me busy. So I appreciate you wanting to continue to work with me because you've given me so many opportunities. You've given me roles where I've won awards for them. You know what I mean? So and like I said, you put me in positions to be able to work with other people that I've met on your set, other actors and producers and things. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Like, yes, I gave some talent to you, but you taught me a lot. You put me in the position to work with other actors that I can learn from and work with on other projects. So it's been an amazing ride. That's why I keep saying you're not retired because you can't be. Like we can't this I mean, I know the journey is not ending just because you're not doing filming anymore, but I mean, I just can't see a world where we're not still working together. That's why I give you such a hard time. I mean, you definitely deserve it. I mean, you put in more than enough years, over 20 years. We just had the reunion, not reunion, oh my gosh, the the anniversary party.
Yeah.
It's like you've done a lot. So I completely understand you wanting to be retired and you wanting to take a break or really retiring. You know what I mean? You deserve it because you put so much into the city and you've given a lot of people a platform, not just myself. You know what I mean? And if anybody hasn't told you today, I know they have, but I'm gonna tell you, thank you. You've done so much for us and you've given us so much. It's like I said, it's not just the fact that we have the roles. It's the connections and the friendship. Because, like I said in the beginning, I didn't know what I was walking into, so to speak. And I learned that you are a welcoming, open person. And it didn't just stop with the role. we are real deal friends. You know what I mean? You've been in my home, I've been in your home. You know what I mean? Like it's an amazing journey that we've been able to be on, and I thank you for allowing me these opportunities and to keep bringing me back. And I wouldn't have come back if I didn't feel comfortable, if I didn't enjoy working with you, if I didn't feel like you were putting me in positions where I felt safe. And of course, there have been incidents, you know what I mean, but it was out of your control, you know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right, 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 right. Yeah.
like, you hold a very special place to my heart, and I don't tell you enough, honestly. So I apologize for that, but I do.
Nah, nah.
You're amazing, and this journey is not over. Okay, no matter whether you are retired or not.
Yeah, I like I said, I of course you definitely hold a special place in my heart, and regardless, work or not, um, nah, we in this for life. So we,
Yeah.
so definitely. But the last question, definitely, who was your favorite character out of everything you've done? Who was your favorite character? But I think you answered the question already, but yeah.
My favorite character. Can I give two? Can I give one for film and one for web series?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say my favorite character was Professor Jennifer. Okay, for the web series. And for the film, oh man, I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna say Faye only because she got to win. She
Hmm.
truly got to win in the end. And so I love all the characters. All of them are special to me. Um, but I really liked being able to see my character end out happy and on top versus dying or losing, going to jail or whatever. I mean, those are still fun to play. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But we like a good underdog story and a you come out on top story. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the fact that Faye got to get her fairy tale.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, Kiara, thank you for just doing this VPN chat. Thank you again for everything you've contributed. Um, I just want to say, um, and we've already talked about this, but like even for the times again, I know it was things that I unknowingly knew about or that's beyond my control. Again, I want to apologize for the situations that have happened, but I appreciate again. I just always go back to your professionalism. I appreciate you for always just rising to the occasion. And I appreciate you again for just always being understanding and it's like again just being you, man. I appreciate you. And like I said, I'm grateful that we have our relationship where we can be honest, we can talk, and we can definitely, make sure that everything is good all around. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Well, I want to say, I want to acknowledge what you said. I appreciate you apologizing, even though none of it was anything that had anything to do with you. You know what I mean? Aside from just the fact that it was the production, something happened on set or,
Right, right, right. But I think it's important to acknowledge because when you're the head of something, you have to take the good with the bad. So
yeah.
even though I personally had nothing to do with it, I'm still in charge and it still happened to you on my watch. So therefore,
Mhm.
I'm still gonna say, hey, I'm sorry that you dealt with that. Um,
Yeah.
but again, I'm so grateful that you didn't let that deter you from working with me. So I appreciate that.
You're a great person, Carlton. And like I said, if I had any feeling that you had something to do with it, which of course you didn't, then we would be having. I mean, we wouldn't even be having a conversation. Well, we probably would, but it probably would not have gone to this level. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, 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 right.
It's like I I completely understand. I appreciate the apology and I appreciate the fact that I was able to come to you and let you know, hey, this happened or this is what's going on. You know what I mean? And you handled it. So Thank you. And like I said, I appreciate the fact that we were able to get through that and still continue to work because we do have such a great working relationship and a friendship behind that. And because we have that foundation, that's why we're able to continue. We were able to, hey, this happened, get it handled, and move forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, what happened? What are they talking about?
Stop, mind your business. Mind
Right.
your business and don't be nosy. And I know people gonna say, well, you should have brought it up.
Well, we had to. It was a part of the journey. But we're
Right.
not gonna give specifics.
Yes, we're not. Listen, it's just we gave you a little snippet, and you just have to be happy with that. And I want to. So if we're gonna talk about foundation, let's thank Zaxby's.
Zaxby's, you a real one.
All right, everybody. This has been the super extended VPN chat. I think this is the longest VPN chat so far. No, we ain't clipping
Are you
nothing.
this whole thing up?
Yes,
Are you
the whole entire
Really?
thing. Yes,
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
the
y'all,
whole entire
listen,
thing.
I can talk, okay? And we had a lot to talk about. We didn't even get to talk about everything. So
Yeah. So
do a
we're gonna have to do. I already told Kevin I'm gonna do a part 2 with him too. So I mean, we're gonna have to do. There's gonna be some part 2s, but let me get some other people in first, and then we'll do some part 2s. Yes. But all right, y'all. This has been VPN Chat. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Thanks for having me, Carlton. See y'all.